Have you ever wondered why there are some people who can become your best friend within hours of meeting them, and why some rub you the wrong way? Have you also wondered why people have different personalities, interests, and in this case, hidden addictions? Turns out, the sun, moon, and planets may have something or everything to do with this. Here are your hidden addictions according to your zodiac sign. But before we get to it, like and share this video, hit subscribe, and don't forget to stay curious. Let's begin. Aries, March 20 to April 18. The youngest of the zodiac. Aries is a fire sign ruled by the planet Mars, which represents action, desire, and aggression. People born under the sign Aries are usually very fiery, just like the element that represents them. They are extremely honest and have no filter, enthusiastic and passionate. But on their not so good days, they can be moody and extremely aggressive. An Aries hidden addiction would have to be an addiction to adrenaline, as they are highly energetic and they need to go on fun, spontaneous adventures to make use of this energy, before it gets converted to something not so pleasant like anger and aggression. These adrenaline-filled activities include extreme sports, exotic vacations, and probably some mixed martial arts. Despite their feisty side that can make them seem intimidating, people born under the sign of Aries have big hearts and strive to live an exciting and fulfilling life. Taurus, April 19 to May 20. Taurians are reliable, practical, and have a great fascination for multi-sensory experiences. In short, they love to relax and experience the finest things in life with a very laid-back approach. They move slowly and are usually not bothered by it. The type of people who would rather stop and smell the roses than rush off to the next best thing. Although they are not usually the type to form unhealthy addictions, there are two things a Taurus loves more than anything, and that is fine food and a good night or afternoon sleep. This can lead them to form an addiction to chronic laziness, because who wouldn't want to take a nap after a scrumptious meal? I know I would. Despite this tendency, Taurians are some of the most dependable people you will ever meet. And because they love food and sleep, they make for great cuddle buddies. Gemini, May 21 to June 20. Geminis are usually controversial and known for being two-faced, but that highly depends on which side of the Gemini you meet. Despite all the intrigue that surrounds the sign, they are no doubt the intellectuals of the zodiac. They are fun to have around both in private or social gatherings, because they are never boring, they read people's intentions fairly well, and they like to speak their minds. A lot. Sometimes, they speak too much in circles and loops that they never make it to the point of their speech. Sometimes, they say things that can get themselves in trouble. Case in point, Donald Trump and Kanye West are both Geminis. So what's a Gemini's hidden addiction? Running their mouth. This can be done in person or in social media. And since Geminis are represented by twins, it's usually both. You can find them on their phones and maybe behind a dummy account or two, trolling and typing away and joining passionate conversations on Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, or any social media site where they can express themselves freely to an audience, strangers included. Alternatively, they can be the source of gossip and hilarious banter in any kind of gathering, as long as they have an audience. As if they need an audience to run their mouths. Geminis are very smart and are great at giving you their unsolicited advice, and even if you don't ask for it. Cancer, June 21 to July 22. A water sign. A Cancer's feelings flow deeply, but they try to keep it cool on the outside, much like a crab that represents their sign in the zodiac. Their sign is greatly associated with motherhood and hominess. They like to nurture the people around them. They like to love deeply. Because of this intense motherly nature, they tend to fall into a hidden addiction to their mother and loved ones. This leads to chronic overthinking and pity patterns if their love and guidance isn't reciprocated in the way they imagined. This need to be a mother nurturer to everyone around them can be quite draining for them. When that happens, they retreat to the comfort of their own home, bake some cookies, fix themselves a drink, and have a good cry. Despite their pure intentions, too much of an addiction to love can lead to negative repercussions, both on their emotions and relationships. Leo, July 23 to August 22. Leo is a sign ruled by the sun, and that is probably the reason for their bright and bubbly dispositions. They are loyal friends and lovers, funny, light-hearted, and have a great taste in almost everything. But sometimes they become a little too vain. They love to talk about themselves, sometimes in a condescending way, and they love to treat themselves to the finest things in life that can help enhance their physical appearance. To say they are materialistic by nature is an understatement, which leads us to their hidden addiction: material possessions. It's hard to find a Leo who is not well-groomed, well-dressed, or well-mannered. They own really nice clothes, things, and even concepts. They have it and they love to flaunt it. Of course, they have that natural charisma to match, and these physical things definitely help provide them with the unshakable confidence that make them so special. Virgo, August 23 to September 22. Known as analytical, practical, and self-confessed neat freaks, the people under the sign of the Virgin Virgo can be quite meticulous when it comes to getting organized, both in their inner and outer worlds. They feel a strong need to analyze, organize, and be of service to those who need some analyzing and organizing themselves. People love Virgos for their calming, grounding energy. When it comes to addictions, being neat is one of the more obvious ones. Their hidden addictions, on the other hand, are a different story. Virgos are obsessed with perfection, not just on their space, but their work and relationships as well. The downside to this is they have a tendency to be controlling and condescending in a passive-aggressive manner if things don't go as planned. This is because they also have the trouble expressing feelings and even see it as an inevitable weakness that they suffer greatly for. Libra, September 23 to October 22. Ruled by Venus, Libras are diplomatic, fair, light-hearted, and extremely good flirts. This should be taken with a grain of salt, as it is not always a bad thing. It only becomes bad when they tip the scales and fall into a cycle of mending themselves from repeated cycles of their hidden addiction, the idea of love. Living life in rose-colored glasses has its advantages, but with it comes some repercussions. They open themselves up to people even if they've literally just met and dive into a whirlwind relationships fearlessly, looking for that one person who will balance them out, only to realize that they are chasing the idea of love. Their unrealistic expectations and tendencies to fall in love too fast, too soon becomes their biggest downfall. They are beautiful people, but they do not really see it themselves and rely on flings and relationships to make them feel appreciated. Scorpio, October 23 to November 21. Clever, mysterious, intense, and passionate. There's always more that meets the eye when it comes to the water sign Scorpio. Their downside is that they hardly trust anyone outside of their little bubble. They become paranoid and highly suspicious about everything. So, what's the Scorpio's hidden addiction? The answer is a bit obvious for this one. Scorpios are addicted to physical touch, from holding hands, kissing, hugging to passionate lovemaking. This is not exclusive to their spouse or partners. They love getting cozy with friends too. And as for single Scorpios, they usually are more open sexually. Scorpios are walking contradictions. An obvious example of this is how they can crave physical intimacy, but are extremely afraid of commitment. This can confuse potential lovers. Sagittarius, November 22 to December 21. Sagittarians are independent adventurers. They are fun, smart, generous, spontaneous, and idealistic. They are the type who can travel the world in a backpack without any kind of set agenda. They are also the type to move to a new city or country just for kicks, and as their loyal friends, they will send you photos and postcards filled with stories of their new adventures. They are a sign that thrive on change and cannot really remain stagnant, which makes them addicted to newness. They have no problems going from city to city, country to country, in search of new thrills. Their dreams are ever changing, and they almost always meet new, like-minded people along the way that share the same philosophy. So what's the downside to a Sagittarian? They can be very impatient and are very prone to developing constant obsessions and addictions which they can maintain wherever they end up next. This can include substance abuse and, in most cases, alcohol as their poison. Capricorn, December 22 to January 19. Known to be the most disciplined and responsible of all the zodiac, it's no secret that the Capricorns highly value their profession and work ethic. These qualities can help them literally achieve all their goals and aspirations. In short, they are workaholics of the zodiac. They strive to be the best versions of themselves, and anything in between them are considered illusions. They do not seek to compete with others, but they can be a bit hard on themselves. One of their biggest addictions, sometimes without realizing it, is clinging to pain or negativity. Being realists, they have a complex yet comfortable connection to pain that turns their reality into pessimism, and they would rather stay there than be vulnerable enough to accept the pain as it is and move on. Aquarius, January 20 to February 18. Also known as the water bearers. People under the sign Aquarius are often mistaken to be water signs, when they are in fact air signs. Independent, idealistic, creative, and self-proclaimed humanitarians, these water bearers feel no pressure whatsoever to fit in, and they are perfectly happy being the lone wolves of the zodiac. Despite this, they are old-fashioned lovers and reliable friends. The other parties just need to be patient and exert extra effort to get them to show up. Which brings us to their hidden addiction. Those born in Aquarius are addicted to isolation. They tend to stay away from the issues that fill this conflict-ridden world and channel their negative emotions into hobbies such as art, music, or even video games. Pisces, February 19 to March 19. Represented by the fish and ruled by Neptune, Pisces is the final sign of the zodiac and is the most watery of all water signs. Their emotions flow swiftly and deeply, just like a river. Intuitive, compassionate, and endearing in their own way, they feel a lot compared to the rest of the zodiac signs. And although they make for great friends and empathetic partners, a negative outpour of emotions from a Pisces in distress can push some people away. This is because their hidden addiction is believing that love is pain and pain is love. They carry two like anchors, and the heavier and more painful it is, the more they try to cling to it. Because of this, they can also be prone to alcohol addiction, among other addictions. Maroon 5 frontman Adam Levine, Rihanna, and Camila Cabello are all under the sign of Pisces, which shows us in some of their lyrics that cut deep and are made to make us feel. Did the addictions of every zodiac sign resonate with you on a personal level? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.